What's happening? It's time for another ASC Success Quickie. We're about to get down in just a moment. If you are hearing this, seeing this, hit those reactions. Let us know where you are in the chat. Let us know, are you watching the replay or are you watching live? We are going to be talking about back to school. All right, here we go. I know, right? 3, 2, 1, and hit it.
I love it. Hey, Gary.
What's happening? Oh my gosh.
That purple jacket in my background. That's very...
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's very you. It's very purple.
Yeah. So I just got my hair colored yesterday and it's been storming. So I'd go outside, walk with my dog and like put my purple jacket because I'm like, if my color bleeds, it's going to be purple on purple. Then I forgot that it was there,
rain.
So.
Purple
rain. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Wet. It's so humid over here. But anyways, we're not here to talk about Chicago weather. We are here to talk about
you. And as you can tell by our title, we are it is back to school time, so we are on that back to school trip as well. And our intention for our quickie today, by the way, this is quickie number 56. And we are going to be talking about how you can leverage that back to school sort of vibe to, elevate your life, especially as an adult. Regardless if you have kids going back to school or not, that's what everyone's talking about, going back to school.
Yeah.
And we're going to just, how can we maximize that?
Yeah. So we're thinking about, a lot of times this is a time of the year where, things are starting. It's almost kind of like a new year in the sense of, a new academic year. And there's different things that we can do to capitalize on this time of year, knowing that it can help us kickstart new things and all this stuff. And so we want to think about some of those back to school principles and apply them as an adult, even if we're not going back to school. So we're going to share 3 tips or 3 different ways. And shall we go with number 1?
Let's bust it. Hey-o. All right. Number 1. And this is all about, boom,
starting with a new clean slate, right? So as I was just saying, it's almost kind of like a new year in the academic sense. But just because it's a new year for kids and students everywhere doesn't mean that we can't capitalize on that new clean slate. So if 2022 can't come soon enough for you and you're just like, this year has been a crazy mess and you want to start over, take this as an advantage to start over now instead of waiting till January. It's the same, we just had a month last month, right? That was last month. We talked about reboot, right? We chose to do the reboot in July. Here it is, 2 months later. You need another reboot? Let's do it again. So this is the opportunity where you can throw away things that don't serve you, just start completely fresh. If your routines are out of whack, I mean, if you are a parent, you are, starting new routines anyways. It's like the pickups and the drop-offs and all of that stuff. It's a clean slate. So allow yourself to leverage that so that you can start fresh anywhere you need a clean start. How about you, Gary? Is there anything you want to add to that?
No, you nailed it. All right, cool. I'll add one thing. It feels good to have a clean slate. I don't know about you. Anytime things are a bit hectic and piling up, and then you just wipe it clean, it just feels like feels great. And that is what we're trying to do. Give you that feeling so that you don't feel as overwhelmed, so that it's almost like a hijack to your brain so that you can get started. And that is a perfect segue on tip number 2, which is focus on growth.
You could do this one, Gary.
I can do this one. So, again, when we're going back to school, it's a clean slate. When we are starting the new year over, what do? We look at our goals. What are our outcomes? So this is a perfect time to revisit those goals. Yes, we are at this point 8 going on 9 months into 2021. However, this should be something that you're doing often because that's how we make progress. It's not like something we set it and then we just don't look at it and then at the end of the year like, hey, how do we do? No, it's all about revisiting those. And since we're talking about back to school, and if there are things that you want to do based on your goals, how can you establish or reestablish habits? Summer typically for a lot of us it's a little bit more laid back, and now that summer's almost over. It's time to get back into it. I'm in a little mastermind group, and one of the people in there, he takes the whole summer off and he's just now getting back into it, and he's talking about, all right, cool, what are the new things that I'm going to do just to get momentum? And April, what do you got?
Yeah, and I think, for me as somebody who is a parent, it's all about creating new routines and structure. Because when you have kids and they're home for the summer, or you're not sending them to camp or whatnot, then the structure is pretty much not there unless you create it. But as soon as school is reintroduced and, God willing, everybody's in school because we can, do school in person these days, it's just really important to revisit those specific routines and structure. I think that, for me personally, I had to revamp my entire calendar in terms of what I was doing on certain days. And, this is why you're seeing a quickie on Wednesday and not Thursdays, because I was creating new structure for my schedule. And so really thinking about, how can you be more efficient? And how can you create things that will allow you to just kind of hum through life a little bit more so that you can put your brain towards those things that are a little bit more thought-provoking and, requiring even more growth in an, I don't know what I was trying to say, but, in that way. So, I think it's really just important to give yourself that opportunity, just like, wiping the slate clean, but then, starting to implement things that are going to help you improve upon whatever it is that you've been doing. Which then I guess we can move to number 3. Should we move to
Yes, number 3. And that's all about building new connections or strengthening existing ones. One of the things that I really loved about, going back to school is reconnecting with friends after the summer of like, hey, what have you been up to? Use this as a season to pop back in, to the lives of the people that are going to energize you. Maybe you've, haven't had a chance to connect with them for whatever reason. Use this as just a reminder, as an impulse, as whatever you need, just to reach out to those people that are going to be your playmates, your allies, the people that have your back.
Mm-hmm. And I think, it's really important to think about the, we talk about a lot about energy and, the people who you surround yourself with. That's going to be the momentum that helps you with the first 2 goals that we had. You want people who are in support of that. And, just like being out for summer, unless you were hanging out with your select friends, you have like the whole gamut of all of your classmates to reach out to. You've got teachers for support, and making sure that you have those meaningful connections that are happening. So leverage this time in September to think about, have you done any networking lately, or is it time to maybe meet some new people, or has there been somebody who you haven't talked to in a while that you want to just check in on now that the summer is kind of winding down and you're getting back into work mode, and just kind of, getting some of those people in place to kind of work alongside, or maybe even find accountability with, which may segue into just sharing a little bit about our awesome community and why we do these ASC quickies every so often. As you may know, if you've seen us for the last 56 times that we've been doing this, Gary and I are the founders of a awesome community called the Accountability Success Circle. We've got some amazing people who are there to, you know, pursue their own personal goals, but do it in support of in the support of a community, and feeling like they're not alone. And while the goals might not be 100% the exact same, we're all kind of working towards the goal of progressing in life together. And so this would be a really great way to take action on our our tips today by considering joining the ASC by going to accountabilitysuccesscircle.com. We've got some exciting things coming up. We've got an annual planning retreat. So if September is not the time to do a clean slate, then maybe October is, or start thinking about that. And we've got that in a month. So if you're interested in learning more about planning for 2022, come check us out. That's definitely a big focus for the next few weeks leading up to our annual planning retreat. So yeah, that's all I've got. Gary, you got anything else?
That is it.
Let me just say goodbye
Yes.
until the next time.
Yes, until the next Quickie. Seriously, go out, implement some of these things, because knowledge is great, but knowledge without action is just a waste of time. I don't know where I was going with that, but that's the whole point. We bring you just the tips so that you can get stuff done while having more fun, and that is everything. So we will see you on the flip side very soon. So
get stuff done. Right. Happy back to school. Woo-hoo.
Bye.
Going to a nightclub.